G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 19 of my Aether Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. So, there's like 5 of you who said yes, and no one said no, so we're gonna go and kill Ilgor today. Now, there's a couple things I want to say about this. First thing is, yes, this medal is technically better. Well, actually, it's a decent bit better. It's a monster infrequent that buffs the main attack skill of the build. It's going to give us additional chance to affect more targets, basically, and then a bunch of vitality damage on top of that. Similar to probably the weapon, I think. No, yes, 10% chance of affecting up to 3 targets. It's that sort of bonus. So yes, this is better, but similar to how when I went into Port Valbury, I said, look, if you don't want to go into Port Valbury while you're leveling, if you're worried about it, whatever, you can just keep using the Lunar Valgoth belt with +1 to Necromancer skills, and it's going to be fine. Same with this. This medal right here, Impenetrable Mark of Nacrathan of the Arcane Blaze, it's got 3 resistances on it. It's got an MI bonus that is like changes Inquisitor Seal to Aether damage. It's nice. It's good enough. This will get me to level 100. I'm doing this because I'd like to show the item, and also because unanimous of the people who responded, which I'm assuming are the people who are watching it, pretty much everyone, or literally everyone, said, yes, I want to see it. If the item is better for the build, then I'd like to see the pathing to the boss and the actual fight. So I'm going to show it, but you don't need to do this. So that's the first thing. You can skip this completely. The second thing is he has 2 monster infrequent items that can drop. So potentially, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to kill him, or maybe I die, you never know. It is not an easy fight, but I'm going to go in there, I'm going to fight him, and if I kill him, he's going to drop the wrong medal, okay? So if that happens, I will go ahead and do it again in between episodes until I get one. I'm hoping that I can just go in and kill him, and depending on time, I may be up for 2 or 3 runs in this episode. So this episode is going to be doing Steps of Torment until I get that, or until I run out of time. So that's what it is. So firstly, you don't need this. You can just keep using the Mark of Nacrathan. It'll be fine. Second, he has several different drops. Well, he has 2 different drops, and you might get the wrong one 3 times in a row. And you're paying a skeleton key for every single attempt. And third, this is not an easy boss fight. This guy is probably in the top 10 hardest fights in the campaign. All right, so keep that in mind. And I guess the fourth thing as well, I'm going to do this on Ultimate. You can do this in Normal, and he will drop you level appropriate stuff. He will scale all the way with you to level 100, and it will be an easier fight in Normal. So I'm looking at his monster database entry on Grimtools over on the side of my screen here. He has 5% Aether resistance, which is great. The only thing you really don't want to be attacking him with is vitality damage, which I mean, we don't do any vitality damage, right? Not a third of our damage being vitality. Couldn't be us. So do keep that in mind, okay? He is highly resistant to like a third of the damage of this build. So hard fight, heavily resistant. It's going to be a long fight, and potentially he's going to one-shot you. So, well, it's technically a 2-shot because the first one sunders and the second one kills you. So, definitely do not be too proud to say, this is good enough, I'm just going to skip this episode. Or watch it, but don't do it. Up to you. With this in mind, you'll notice that I've gained half a level and actually hit 71. And that's because I went and got myself a new shield, which it took me a few tries. But this was the first durable that dropped. So I'm going to go with this. Menhirs Wall, I'm assuming is the armor, and so I don't know what Menhirs Wall does. Probably some resistances there from that. Piercing and bleeding, maybe. I got the first durable that dropped. I'm going to use this, so we'll chuck that on. Chance to block a lot more damage is good. We're not playing a block build though, so it's not particularly amazing. However, the armor rating is pretty good going up. And the other thing that I went ahead and I farmed a new one of was a new chest. Now, I killed him again 7 times. Took me a few tries to even get one. This is the only dread plating I got with a rare suffix, and it's not very good. Infiltrators, I mean, +2 to Blade Spirit and Root of Hagarad, no. The other ones I got was Shrewd of Vitality, I got Stanching of Frostbite, and then this one that I'm kind of just saying at this point, this is good enough. Actually, you know what? Maybe I go with this one for the higher damage conversion percentage. It's less on bleeding, more stun. Yeah, I'll probably go this one. Main reason I did this was the extra armor, and the main reason I have this item in particular is the vitality to Aether conversion. So do we have a 35% there. Shrewd of Vitality, that's a bunch of health. Can I use that one? I can use that one. Alright, I'm going to use that one then. So, upgraded shield, which has Scarab Shell Powder. Beautiful, already got one of those. Let's go ahead and swap these over. And then I guess the other thing that I want to mention, I kind of already mentioned it, is that this is going to take a skeleton key every single time you go in there. Now, I'm doing it on Ultimate, so I'm going to actually do the, where is it? The Old Scars quest here. Then we have to kill Zarthuzalan to get in anyway, because he's like the door boss. And killing him completes the quest, well, not Old Scars, but the next quest, which is going to give me a skeleton key. So I get one for free, and if you go in there on Ultimate, you also get one for free. But if you didn't do that, then you'll need to come to any Forge Master, any blacksmith, and then you will need to craft a skeleton key. You'll need one of these every single time you want to go in, and unfortunately they use Ectoplasm, which is not super common, and Blood of Chthon, which is also not super common. Now, if you've been following along and you've done the same quest outcomes, I guess, that I have, you'll have a few of these from quests, but you may not have all that many. So let's get rid of these. Also, another pair of empowered Mistwalker leggings. Let me have a look at the stats here. Less physique, less spirit, move speed doesn't matter. More phys res is good, same aether, and less elemental. And the other one was the poo pants. Always fun when you find the poo pants. One day I'm going to make a build around that, but not today. Okay. The other change I wanted to make was that one. So this is the Slith Primal Ring. This is level 70. This is the ultimate version of it. I guess 3 things on this. One, the resistances are quite good. If you split that elemental resistance into fire, lightning, and cold, 20% each, then 20% vitality, and then 31% poison and acid, that's 111% total resistances from this one item. It's pretty good. Now, granted, it's not massively better than this Harmonious Ring, but it is better. The other thing is the energy regeneration. So if we come down here to energy regen, 61.87 versus 56. So gaining a little bit of energy regen, which is really nice because this build is still energy negative, and we are about to fight a boss that's going to be slow to kill. So I want more energy regeneration. And then the third thing is the 22% damage to Beastkin. We're not going to be fighting a huge amount of Beastkin in this episode, but that's going to be useful for, I guess, other things. Okay, now with that all out of the way, and let me say this again, you don't have to do this. You can just stay with the Medal of Nacrothan. It'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Maybe give this a shot on normal the first time through and just see how you feel. I'm going to turn this quest in as well because attribute points, and it's all going into physique. I was saving this for something. I don't know what. Turns out I was saving it for Steps of Torment. In terms of damage that you're going to need resistances to, you should already have everything maxed out. Everything should be capped. The big ones, though, is Pierce, Bleeding, Physical, Cold, and Vitality. So, I mean, it's basically everything. the largest threat in there that I can think of is going to be Ilgor's little Spine Nova thing. And that is a lot of physical damage, almost as much piercing damage, and then just 2,000 bleeding a second for 5 seconds. So you're going to be taking a decent amount of those damage types. Ideally, you don't get hit with that Nova, and I will show how to avoid it. But at some point, you're probably going to get hit by it. So we will see how it goes. I'm not really expecting to die on this fight, I'll be honest. But it is one of the harder fights in the campaign. So just keep that in mind. And also be aware you're not going to be able to stand in your Inquisitor seal the whole time. At least I don't think so. I do have kind of an idea that I want to try. So we'll see. But I don't think I'm going to be able to just stand in the Inquisitor seal. So we're going to be running around and kiting a little bit at least. But we'll save that for when we get there. Alright, Calderos here. The Oligarchs are gone. And accept the next quest to slay Grand Priest Zathuzalan. You will need fire resistances for this as well. Alright, what do we got? Blessed. +2 to maximum all resistance. If I can keep this inside the actual skeleton key part of the dungeon, which I think they change, but if they don't, I'm very happy. This is a very, very good bonus. Monsters do poison damage, I don't care, and monsters do aether damage. I kind of don't care, but extra damage for, 2 extra damage things is not ideal. Right, so on the way down we've got an Exalted Stash, not here, not on this level, but there is an Exalted Stash. There is a Treasure Trove, which is why I was checking over there, actually in this corner. And there is at least 1 totem, plus I think another one inside the actual skeleton key portion. I could be misremembering that. It may be one totem total, but there is at least 1 totem. The other great thing about doing this is, what is that? Oh, Skeleton Warrior. The other great thing about doing this is there's lots of ghosts. So if you didn't go and farm a new shield, Treasure Trove potentially here, if you didn't go and farm a new shield, you may get one drop in here. I have it in my head that this edge here can have a Treasure Trove, but don't quote me on that, I'm not confident. Okay, I do also have some skill points to spend, so I probably should do that. Formidable of Decay, that's a nice amount of armor. If I put these on, what do I get? I gain a little bit of health. I am watching this, by the way, just in case you're wondering. You guys could stop, that'd be great. Let's see. Resistances go down, so I'm actually uncapping my elemental. Okay, that's no good. I don't want that. Alright, Devotion Shrine, I could go over there. It's going to be a fight. There's going to be heroes involved. It's right here. I'm going to go do it. It's basically a totem at this point, right? We don't need the actual devotion points. But I like loot, I like XP, and I like Rover's reputation. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. The big guy is the main issue here. I mean, he's not really an issue, but we can take him out first. Next are the priests. Oh, there's my treasure trove as well. And there's some loot in the wall just here as well, so we may as well grab that. Actually, a decent amount of loot in the walls here. The Alchemist's Mantle, lovely. And Dynamite, done. Ethereal Mutagen, and, well, there's my skeleton key paid for. I mean, it was already paid for, because I'm going to use the quest reward, but you know what I mean. Okay, 3 big boys, one of which does chaos damage. I don't love this, but I think it's going to be fine. I'm looking out for priests. There is stuff spawning on the other side of the wall, which is both good and bad. Good because potentially you get a little bit of time to deal with one side and then the other side comes around, but bad because if it's a priest, now you have to go around there and kill him. Okay, the Scion of Crimson Wakes, one-handed axe, bleeding, physical, no thank you, and pretty much the same for the rest of this as well. Another thing, as with all of the Skeleton Key dungeons, there's a few events, like there's rooms that lock you in and then you fight waves of heroes. There's rooms with a fancy chest in it, and you, again, get locked in and fight waves of heroes. So there's a few event-type things like that. There is also the dungeon boss, Alchemos, who, if you ever make a cold build, will be your best friend forever. And by best friend, I mean you're going to hate going down to see him. But he is extremely rippy. If Ilgor is in the top 10 most dangerous bosses in the campaign, Alchemos is probably in the top 5. So I'm not going to be fighting Alchemos. And yes, once again, you can call me a coward in the comments, but I kind of got someone killed in the last episode. So I'm going a little bit more safe now. So where is that comment actually? Where are we? Yancey Hutchinson. I tested the slam, I lost to the slam. So because I decided that I was going to be clever and tank the Voldrak slam, someone else has gone and done the same thing, and it didn't go so well for them. So my apologies for that, and I will not be quite so cavalier. Okay, what's going to help us here? Well, having more health would definitely help. Having more armor is always good, so we could definitely chuck some points of vigor. Steel Resolve is really good all around. It doesn't really help us against the undead, but I think we just go for vigor first. Just having more health is never a bad idea, and getting a little bit of armor is also good. Okay, so you can see there, Grand Priest Zarthuzalan up here. Now, he does a ton of fire damage. Even standing in this, he's going to do enough to hurt. The most important thing with the Grand Priest here is every now and again you just want to move, because there's going to be fire underneath you. You can see when he throws the Molotovs at you. You want to move, and you can see my health is dropping down occasionally. So the other way you can do this is you can dodge those attacks. There we go. Okay, there's his book. Not playing a build that uses the book. You want Blackwater Cocktail or Fire's Might, depending on which version you get. Okay, anyway, he's dead. And I can't understate just how much he hurts as well. You definitely need 80% fire resistance with him, and stay out of the fire, which may not be super easy. So one skeleton key, the blueprint that I already know, which thank you, you can keep that. And now, do we have another quest here? I think no. No, we do not. Okay. I'm going to spend that in physique. I've got my key to get in now. Now, if you were doing this to just go for a run through the dungeon, and you were worried about loot, now is a good time to go and empty your inventory, because once you're in here, you can't leave unless you either die, beat the boss, or exit the menu. In any of those cases, you will not be able to get back in, because this door does not open again. If you die, you can run all the way back down here. You will not be able to open this door. So once you're in until you win or you die. So if you care about loot, go and empty your inventory. I'm going to say I don't really care about the loot. I'm here for one piece of loot. But I am going to hit the ring events. What are they called, ring events now? Basically, I'm going to hit the special rooms on the way. There is a decent amount of loot kind of hidden in the walls in here as well. There's one in particular. 20 crit damage. Okay, more damage, good. I would much rather have that 2% max resistances back. This is another thing as well. If you're doing this on Ultimate, check these. Okay, a bunch of extra chaos damage, a bunch of extra fire damage, and a bunch of extra poison damage. Now, these are not huge. Let's have a look at Ilgor, actually. What does he do? Piercing, bleeding, physical, and a little bit of cold. Okay, none of these line up with these damage types. If they did, if this was physical damage plus an extra 50% physical damage, I would be worried. Or if it was piercing or bleeding, I would be worried. These are not great, but I'm gonna roll with it. So check these, make sure there's nothing you're actually worried about. If there is, just leave. If you're playing on hardcore especially, if you're not sure, leave. One skeleton key is not worth risking your character over. Okay, so this is where we came in. We're on floor, I want to say we're on floor 4 now. Maybe we're actually on floor 5. Yeah, 5 of 7, 4 of 7. I don't know. Anyway, this is the first room. You'll see it's got an entry here, an exit there, and this is a square room with no other exits. When I go in there, there's a really fancy chest right here, the Bone Reliquary. As soon as I get through this door, it's going to slam shut, and it's going to start spawning enemies. So, I'm just going to stand here. I am going to turret this. I'm fairly confident that I can just kill everything and it won't be a problem. I am going to turn the loot off. And I should mention as well, there's a decent chance that this run through the Skeleton Key dungeon does in fact kill me. So just keep that in mind. I am mildly concerned that I'm going to die in here. Acolyte's Cord, pet stuff, actually pretty good pet stuff. And I'm going to pick up the blues, I guess. None of this looks like stuff that I care about, but I'm going to pick it up anyway. Just because I don't care about the loot doesn't mean I don't still want iron bits. Okay, another thing to do as well when you're in here, if you're worried about this place, just kill everything as you get to it. Don't try and run past things to kind of speed it up. Take it slow, make sure you get through, kill the priests first, and that's going to come up again later when we get to Ilgor. And that's another thing as well, there are traps in here. So there are traps on the floor that will attack you as you walk past them. So you are never safe. There is also, like I mentioned, loot in the walls. Stonehide of Scorching? Stonehide is a really good prefix. Okay, so if I'm doing this run, if I'm doing this as just me playing and I'm not recording, I'm probably not fighting any of this. I'm going to Leroy Jenkins this. I'm going to run past things. I'm going to ignore certain fights. Most of them actually that aren't Ilgor. Basically, I'm going to be doing my best to run to Ilgor, clear what's at the doors of his little hidey hole, and then fight him. So I'm not usually interested in fighting any of this rubbish. But I'm doing it this time because, as I said, I already got one person killed last episode, and I'm trying to minimize that. Also, there's a nice statue here with 2 shields, which means this is the location of another one of the perfectly normal shields, or weapons. They're actually maces that look like shields. So, totally normal buckler. +1 to Shaman, +1 to Oathkeeper, bleeding damage, attack speed, etc. Looks like a shield, but if you read the top there, one-handed mace, this is a weapon. And there's a bunch of them. I'm almost certainly not using them. I'm not going to say I definitely won't, because at some point, +1 to all skills on this character may end up being worth more. Or I may just decide to use it for the lulz. I don't know. But there's no plan to use it at the moment. So let's continue fighting deeper here. These guys here, the champions, you want to kill them because, there you go, drops nice shields. And the loot in these places is actually better. Alright, let's keep going. That is actually the main reason why I'm doing this on Ultimate. Well, part of the reason. Here's Ilgor. Okay, so this little section here, potential totem here, it is going to be an ancient totem. It is a spirit totem from memory. So it's dangerous because they get all this bonus damage, so keep that in mind. The next thing I want to mention as well is clear up to the door to Ilgor's little house here. You see this square area full of bones and stuff? That's where he lives. This will close behind you if you go in there. Clear this section here, make sure there's no priests, and then we're going to go around the other side. Because the last thing I want to see is a priest on the side, on the opposite side of a door that I can't open, who's just going to heal him. So I burn him down to half health, and then the priest heals him for whatever. He's back to full, basically. And then you have to worry about not only kiting him away from the priest, but also staying away from areas where he can hit you with his bone nova, and it's a nightmare. Okay, this guy is reflecting, which I don't love. Oh, looks like the boys got him. Skelly's got him. Which is good, because I was actually taking a decent amount of damage. Alright. So we go upside here, we're going to clear this side out as well. And this goes deeper. That goes to the act boss, or not the act boss, the dungeon boss. As I mentioned, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that fight. So I'm just not going to. I have now cleared both sides. Right? That means it's time to fight Ilgor. Now, if you bought any potions, this is the time to use them. I didn't bring them. I don't really think you need potions for this, but I don't know. If you have some, go ahead and use them. Let's go in and do the fight. So he's going to jump out of the middle here. And these stairs are mirrored on the other side. So these are the area you want to keep in mind, because he's going to come out of here, and occasionally he's going to like kind of lean forward or squat down or whatever and shoot out a bone nova of these spikes. You'll see them when it happens. If he's down here in the pit, which is where you want to keep him, and you're up here on the top of the stairs, those little spikes will hit the stairs. They won't hit you. So that's how you dodge it. You want to be on the top of the stairs, and you want to keep him in the middle. When he gets over to a sort of here-ish, you want to use a move skill to go past him, run to the other side, and stand at the top of the other set of stairs. Now, from memory, his first phase... Actually, no, I'm not doing this by memory. Let's bring up his first phase here. Damaging wave, dispense spawns, spawn pets. Okay. Grimtools is saying he does not do that wave on his first form, or his first phase. So we should be able to run over here, and we should be able to just beam him down. Should. I forgot about that. It's very fast on the Sunder. Okay, and he roots you in place as well, so that's fun. Alright, so when I'm sundered, I run away. He has priests out now, which is lovely. Definitely got to kill those. So he's back to full health. This is not going well. Alright, dodge the Sunder. I don't think he has any priests around him now, so I'm going to go ahead and give him the business, as it were. I'm going to try and kill him right now. Let's throw the Mark of Torment up. Now, this is where it gets dangerous. So he's coming back over this way. His friends are going to keep shooting. Alright, so there's the spikes, and you can see they were on track to hit me. They didn't hit me. The reason why is because I'm standing on the top of the steps. So you need to keep him in the middle, and you need to keep yourself, one, not sundered, but two, you need to keep yourself on the top of the stairs. So when he comes over, this is not fun because, well, the range on Drain Essence is not particularly huge. Alright, so I'm sundered. Again, I'm running away. Putting up a new Inquisitor Seal. As this stuff kind of comes over to me, I'm going to kill it. And then we just repeat this. I believe that this form of his does not summon skeleton priests, which is good, because that would be obnoxious. So again, stay on top of the stairs and just do damage as he comes over. There he goes. All right, the moment of truth. Did he drop the medal that I actually want? And the answer is Eternal Vigil. Yes, he did. All right. This is actually really good. Impervious is piercing resistance, and I think some of that poison as well. And Butchery, bleeding damage? Vitality? I don't know. This has got 3 really good resistances on it. The fact that it does not have Chaos is going to be annoying. But this is the base that you want. So if you get Ilgor's Eternal Vigil, that's the one you want. If you get his other one, which let me just go to the notable loot here, it is Ilgor's Eternal Curse. You don't want that one, okay? That one is bad. So I've got the medal that I want. I can't use it for 3 levels, but that's fine. This is what I came here for. And I'm actually not going to run this again. So we're half an hour in. Do we? No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to say, do I fight the boss in here? But no, lots of extra damage, and he's very rippy. So no, I'm going to nope out of this. I'm done. What I will do though, is tell you that fight there on Ultimate was actually easier than the previous time I tried to do this fight on this character, which was around level 28, I think, from memory. So it was much easier this time than it was last time, and I think that's because I've got a lot of extra levels and devotion points and stuff like that. So easier, yes. Easy, no. And we do also have a lot of loot. Okay, so what I'm going to do with a little bit of leftover time is I'm going to look at all of my gear and just see what I can upgrade. Now, obviously, I could go and get another Chains of Egrad. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to go to Port Valbury. I don't dislike it quite as much as a lot of other people do or seem to, but I don't love it. However, I did say at the start of this that I wasn't going to be doing any extra content here, so I would feel bad about now going, psych, actually I am. So let's see what we can upgrade. We could get a better shield. I think 13% is kind of low for the durable roll. So I could go and get a better shield. What else could we do? I mean, I could go and fight Ilgor again, but it seems like a bad idea. And once again, you do not have to go and fight him. Absolutely not. You can quite happily get through everything we have left with just Necrothans. Okay, one thing I do need some Chaos Resistance. So if I put this on, it's going to give me Pierce, Poison, and Elemental. And I'm going to lose a little bit of Vitality, that's fine. And I'm going to lose 38% Chaos, which I thought would be an issue. Turns out it's not. Did I get some Chaos Resist from somewhere else? I'm confused. I'm not going to lie, I thought that would be an issue. Okay, well, it's not an issue. The other thing I could do, I could go and get a new Death Watcher pendant, I guess. That would go back to normal. Huh. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect to get this on the first drop. I fully expected to have to do 2 or 3 runs before I even got the correct base. So the fact that this dropped with 3 really good resistances is just amazing to me. I'm super happy about that. This is more resistances, but I would lose Fizz, so that's fine. Yeah. Right, well, I guess we can go and maybe do a couple of just talking type quests. That is a thing we can probably do. So Colin Tavern is going to be over here in Dead Man's Gulch. Guess we can go talk to him. It's just talking. But I think I'm going to stop here, actually. I know it's a bit of a shorter episode, but I did kind of say that I wasn't going to do anything more. So there is the Steps of Torment. Bare bones, don't do anything extra edition. And I am actually quite happy to see that the Ilgor fight, if you can stay on top of the stairs, and if you can keep him in the middle, is actually easier on Ultimate at level 72 than it was on Veteran at level 30 odd. So I'm happy about that. It's just going to come down to, do you get the Eternal Vigil drop, or do you get the Eternal Curse? The Eternal Curse is Pneumatic Burst and something else, right? No. No, this is the Pneumatic Burst one. Okay. Yeah, so the Eternal Curse has bonuses to Amarasta's Blade Burst and Chilling Rounds. But yeah, I'm gonna end this episode here. And I need to say this again: you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It is a little rippy, and if you're new and just following along, I'd probably recommend just sticking with this. Yes, this is going to add a bunch of extra damage. That's great. 558 flat vitality damage to Drain Essence. Convert, what's that? 85% of that. That's mostly extra Aether damage. So yes, this is really, really good. But I am going to be losing +3 on Inquisitor Seal, which is a big deal. And I'm going to be losing a decent amount of Aether damage on the Inquisitor Seal as well. So if we just throw that out there, like 7,000 a tick on every single enemy that's standing next to you, because you're always in this, and anything that comes over to attack you is going to be standing in this. And now they're standing in 2 of them. So this is not a nothing burger, the damage from Inquisitor Seal. Losing the extra levels on it as well does mean I'm going to be less tanky. So just keep that sort of stuff in mind. And you can definitely get through this. Like, if you didn't go and get the Chains of Egrad, then this is a lot less valuable, because the vitality damage is not something we're focusing on. So yeah, very much optional. Anyway, I am going to end this episode here. So thank you all very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Please don't die. And goodbye for now.